thought you. No, I
It doesn't.
didn't.
It's all good.
Son of a.
So yeah, it's okay. But yeah, like I am in total agreement with okay, what were you saying about Chael now? What did he do?
Chael Sonnen, I can't believe this. Chael Sonnen, I was watching this show and he was saying that Paulo Costa has been walking around
Oh
at
yeah.
minimum 220
Yes.
pounds.
He has to
So he's
cut 35
35 pounds
pounds.
overweight. And he says in most situations you look and say, oh, it's no big deal. He's got 6 weeks out.
Right.
But he said, you look at him, he's got no fat on him. So
Bro.
he, he's not walking around heavy.
Yeah.
He's walking around big.
Bro.
Just
Bro, you seen Paulo Costa,
I
man.
have.
Paulo, yeah. Paulo like one of them dudes off Universal Soldier, man.
It's like, where are you? It's
Where you
funny.
gonna cut it from?
Shale brought something up that we were talking. We kind of skated over, talking about the weigh-ins last week.
Right.
The UFC will let you weigh in a day early. Where wrestling and boxing, especially amateur boxing and wrestling, are the two that you weigh in that day. Wrestling, a lot of times you weigh in an hour before the matches start.
Okay, before you continue on, because you're giving some good game right now, I just want to let all the viewers know that when he says a day early, that is the standard in MMA and boxing at the professional level. The weigh-ins are a day before the fight. So it's not anything that's not consistent throughout both disciplines. All right, go ahead.
So when you look at that, that gives you time to get in on an IV drip. That gives you a time to rehydrate. Hey, pops, that gives you a time to get your energy back. If you
Right.
can make weight a day early.
Right.
Now, those who don't make weight a day early, then they got to weigh in the morning of the fight. And I don't know how many chances they get to make weight. I don't know when the cutoff period is.
Well, for I know for boxing and championship bouts, you get 2 hours, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so you got to make that
Yeah.
2 hours before your fight.
No,
So
no,
it
no, no,
gives
no,
you
no. No. In boxing, you get 2 hours from the time the weigh-in starts to the actual weigh-in. If
okay,
you're over,
okay.
they give you 2 hours up until that to make weight.
It's funny because that's how wrestling is at most tournaments. You get 2 hours, but you're talking the day before.
Right.
Wrestling and amateur boxing, you don't have all that time.
Right.
Um, so he was making that comparison. He said, so the fact that, or the day of rather. So he was making that comparison, saying that you know he's got a day. Might as well say 2 days because it's going to be a fight that's at night to rehydrate, to rest, to eat. And long term, it's going to kill your body. Short term, but here's what I'm thinking:
Okay.
when this Joker rehydrates, he's going to probably rehydrate to at least 200 to 205 pounds because you have a day and a half to 2 days to rehydrate all that water weight you lost. So Adesanya will get a chance to fight somebody Jones' size, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's insane, bro.
Yeah.
Insane. That's almost as crazy as thinking you started the show, but you didn't. I apologize. Y'all lost some good information, but I was the technical difficulty this evening. Hey, but moving along. Good grief with this. That's just I can't understand that. I forgot to start the show, bro.
Hey, listen. On another note, though, what do you think about yo boy? I'm sure there's some people out there in the Fighter Show Nation that are gonna chuckle at this. Pontificating. There's a word for us today. A comeback. One golden boy, Oscar De La Hoya.
Yeah,
I know you
that's
saw
trash.
that, and you purposely didn't mention
That's
it
trash.
because
That's right.
you know that's your man, fishnets and all. What's going on with that, bro?
Listen, he was losing when he was still active, so why come back?
Damn, bro, that's how you
Why
feel.
come back?
He's
You
one of the
win.
greatest. He's one of the greatest ever, bro.
Uh-huh. Ask Shane Mosley. Ask Floyd Mayweather.
Hey, don't do that now. Don't
Well,
do
shout
that.
out to East LA.
I'm gonna need you to relax, bro.
I'm just saying. Oscar, I've never been a real big fan of Oscar De La Hoya. I won a lot of money off him losing. So,
We can tell for
hey,
whatever reason we can clearly
but
see that.
his business acumen, what he did with Golden Boy, with the Contender Series, shouts out to him with that, bro. Shouts out to him with that. He saw a void in boxing and he filled it.
But you ain't trying to hear a comeback for the Golden Boy.
No, 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 not at all.
I have a strange feeling that if he was getting one of these fights, you'd actually want to see him get beat up. You'd actually watch one of these old OMF fights to see De La Hoya get beat up, wouldn't you?
With my glasses on.
You don't want to miss nothing, huh? You want to catch an HD, huh?
Nothing. HD, bro. I might rent a bigger TV for this one. I'm just saying.
You gotta relax about the Golden Boy, man.
Hey, bro, you get in there, that's you. So I don't want to see anybody hurt, but I would cheer if he got knocked out. My mom was a big fan of Oscar De La Hoya. She loved to watch him fight. When he fought Shane Mosley, she was the only black person in the room not rooting for Shane Mosley.
We do that from time to time.
Yeah.
Oh, also, in a little pop culture news that you probably didn't catch, Adrian Broner interview with Vlad TV. And if Adrian's been telling a lot of stories, he talks about how he blew $1 million in a weekend in Miami. Do you believe that?
I saw that. I saw it. I believe it.
Wow.
It's Adrian Broner.
Adrian Broner is that much of an idiot that he blew $1 million in one weekend in Miami.
Are you really asking me this question?
I just want to hear your explanation. I'm here for it.
The answer is yes. I believe he's that much of an idiot that he would do. And it's not him being an idiot. He knows people will be drawn to that story, which keeps him relevant.
This was a long time ago, bro. This was
right. But he told the story when?
Today.
Started fade.
Well,
yes.
Not today, like early in the week. Whenever.
Right. Yeah. I think I saw it pop up yesterday or
so this is Adrian Broner being a master at social media, being a master at keeping himself relevant because he thinks this is going to parlay him into another big fight. Is that what you're saying?
It keeps him in people's conversations who do these shows.
Yeah, because we're talking about him right now. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah. And he can say, look, Al, they're still talking about it.
Yeah.
I got a buddy who would love for him to come to Florida and fight. Adrian, if you're seeing this, hit me up at Got Brew on Instagram or get at the Badger LMC on Instagram or at the Fighter Share. We got an opportunity for you. Get at us.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of that, he told a story about Don King being a real gangster and beating the murder charge. I think you talked about that last week on the show.
Yes.
It's pretty funny, bro. But I just wanted to bring that back full circle because that's a real thing.
Hey, Pops met him on the train. Got his autograph.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Game recognized game.
That part.
Yeah, I remember because my mom. I was living in Florida at the time. I was like 8, and my mom, when she came down for Easter to visit me, she brought the magazine. And she said, yeah, your dad met Don King on the train. I'll carry his bags for 10%. Whatever. He better be glad you didn't take his bags back then.
I'm trying to tell you what's in it. What's in your wallet? All that would have been missing. 10%. No, you got more than that, bro. You had to walk around with stacks too.
Don was well done.
$10,000 bands, $10,000
was
bundles.
well accompanied. Trust me. He was. That's the only reason why he made it off the train. Yeah. She brought me the magazine. I forgot, was it Sports Illustrated? I forgot the magazine my dad was looking at, and Don King signed it and he sent it to me. And I kept that thing all the way through high school and up through college, and had some family issues with my grandfather's house going into disarray after when he was about to pass, and then when he passed, so I lost it then. But I kept that thing for a long time.
Man, let's just talk about how much of a gangster Don King is. Let's stop glossing this over like Don King is just some old man with bad hair that wears faded, outdated, bedazzled jean jackets with multiple flags. Y'all let that fool y'all if y'all want to. Don King got a body, a real body, and he is not to be played with.
No, he's not.
From a different era, man.
Yeah.
Way different era.
He became a promoter after he killed somebody and got out of prison.
Right.
So
and
that
made up his own vocabulary all at the same time.
And he is the pioneer of pay-per-view.
Absolutely. He
He
made it
took it
work.
out of closed circuit and he put it in your homes with King Vision.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
all the wrestling promoters and boxing promoters, they could bow to Don King because he took a chance. He got closed circuit going with the fight in Kinshasa,
Mm-hmm.
Zaire.
Yes, sir.
Um, I mean, he's been an innovator and a pioneer and a rugged thug the whole way through. I still think Big Red from the Hot Five Heartbeats, they took his character from Don King.
Could have been. Poe Red. Could have been though.
Yeah.
Shouts out to the Five Heartbeats, man. That is a cult classic and a cultural classic, if you know what I mean. So,
Yes, it is.
and listen, shout out to everybody that think the Five Heartbeats are a real group. All right. So before that starts another conversation,
Deals. That's the deal.
it's ridiculous, bro.
What color car you want? What color? My office hours are front. Sorry.
Yeah, there you go. See, I knew it was gonna happen. I knew it was gonna happen.
Well, don't make me break into Eddie. Can't nobody say like Eddie Kane Jr. But look, you want to beat me. Hey, that was the movie though. Uh-oh.
So apparently, not only is your boy Oscar De La Hoya talking about making a comeback, so is my boy La Maravilla, Sergio, my guy from Argentina. He's friends with Manu Ginobili. You know I like the Argentinians or the Argentines. I get it mixed up every time I say it. Anyway, but yeah. Yep. Sergio is contemplating a return to the ring. Last time we saw him, he had a bad knee. He's 45 years old. What is going on? Stop calling these people, bro. Stop calling these guys and saying, hey, man, you might as well get back in there, too. We're not up and running yet, bro. We're not going to get paid from these guys, so stop it.
What are you talking about, bro?
I'm just saying, bro. I feel like you really calling these guys and getting them convinced to come back. Bro, these guys need to sit their ass down.
Listen, the sad thing is when they get in the ring, it's another Five Heartbeat shot flashback. Only thing you gonna hear is nights like this. I wish
I wish
raindrops would
fall.
fall.
Man, listen, bro. This is not a laughing matter, bro.
Yes, it is, bro. It's hilarious.
It is. It is kind of funny.
Hilarious.
It is.
It's hilarious. I still say, if you want a good fight, now when Oscar comes back, Oscar's well over 200 pounds right now.
You think so?
Yeah.
Oscar still snore a lot of coke, so he might not be 200 pounds.
Yeah, that might keep him in shape. That might
Yeah,
keep him in shape.
it keeps him kind of slim.
So I'm thinking if they have a drug test, if you don't have drugs in your system, they ain't gonna let you fight because they're gonna feel like you're crazy. They feel like the drugs are making them do this. So, I mean, Mike's on weed, Oscar's on coke, Roy's I'm just saying he might have a little Dame damage, but that's my boy. I would love to see Oscar De La Hoya come back and fight. At this point, anybody. I mean, look, I would pay to put him in with Triple G.
Bro, really?
Both of them past their prime.
You just want to get that man beat the hell up.
Even with COVID, I'd be the only one in the arena.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Maurice Hooker just signed with PBC. Another 140-pounder. Look, they got Maurice Hooker from the Zone. They mess around and get Regis. Ooh, I don't know, bro. It's looking interesting. Listen, PBC making chess moves right now. And what we're also seeing, and I think we talked about this a couple weeks back, we're starting to see the decline of the promoter. The regional mid-level promoter. These guys are going to start dropping like flies. And these guys that were signed with these promoters, like Lou DiBella and so on and so forth, they're going to start jumping ship because Lou and those guys can't put on fights to compete. And they're going to just go up to the bigger conglomerates like the Top Ranks and the PBCs and the Zones. This is a sad state of affairs for combat sports in general, but it's a change. Do you think we'll ever recover from this? Do you think these guys are going to be able to make a comeback? Or is this pretty much it going forward?
I agree with you. I agree with you. I would love to see, and I can't wait. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you were going out for a while. I don't know if you had me muted or what, but I couldn't hear you.
I can't wait to see if we do get Regis, honestly,
You
with
say
PBC.
we?
Yeah, because we're PBC fans.
Are we or are we just boxing fans?
We're boxing fans, but we are PBC fans.
Well, that PBC has the biggest roster, so most of the fighters fight for
You
them.
can Jerry, you can dress it up any way you want. We're really PBC fans,
Oh wow, okay,
uh,
cool. Speak for
and
yourself.
we do watch. We watch all the organizations, but we in the beginning when we started this journey, we started around the same time Uncle Al was lining things up with PBC.
Correct. And all the fighters in that area ended up signing with PBC.
Exactly.
Hmm.
So, hence, that's why we're PBC fans. We don't hate the other organism. We don't hate Top Rank because we watch them. We don't hate Golden Boy. They don't have much, but we watch them. We don't, hate the Zone. Though you don't see much from them right now, but we watch them. So, we don't hate Eddie Hearn, the Badger's uncle, but we watch him. So, it, either way, we just say we're fans of PBC because we like how Uncle Al did this. He put fights back on free TV, and plain and simple, plain and simple.
So I'm glad you're speaking for me, my friend. But no, I get it, and it makes perfect sense. I just think that I think they're playing chess, not checkers, and I think these middle road promoters are just gonna have a hard time, and it's sad because you need incubator promoters, right? You need these guys to kind of be in between starting out and getting to the big dance, right? You need somebody that can kind of help guide you and buffer your career. This is going to be interesting because now it's going to be like, look, sign with us, and we're just strictly bringing you in as an opponent. Like these guys aren't going to get groomed. If they don't have a pedigree, or they don't have some type of financial backing where they can kind of be brought along, a lot of guys are probably not going to ever get their full potential because they're going to get thrown into fights probably earlier than they should because they don't have the representation.
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
And these are things that most fight fans don't take into consideration, but this happens quite often.
I was gonna say
And,
this is
and
not
it derails a bunch of careers. So you gotta pay
Darnell
attention, man.
Boone.
Wow. Yeah, you couldn't have said any better. Yep.
When
Yep.
we listen to his story, it's like, man, you got a draw against Kovalev, even though you should have won. He came back and beat you in the second fight, but he got a draw against a lot of big name guys.
He
And
dropped Andre Ward.
right,
He beat Adonis Stevenson.
and y'all never heard of him. I mean, just saying, we ran into him down here in St. Pete in the gym.
Yeah.
So look, man, it's Thursday. I brought two stories for you today. Two.
Oh boy. Okay.
All right. So the first one is interesting because I told you I have a friend who's a psychiatrist, and it's interesting because she's a psychiatrist. Her husband is a gynecologist. So was talking about something strange happened a couple weeks ago. Said a woman walked into his office and she took off her shirt to get examined, and she had an H on her chest, like it was an imprint. And he said, "I don't understand. Is this a tattoo?" She said, No. It's not a tattoo. It's just that my fiance went to Harvard and he's so proud he likes to have sex with his sweater on. So he was like, "Oh, okay." But the next woman comes in with when she takes her shirt off, she got a Y in the center of her chest. And he said, What? And she said, "Oh, my husband went to Yale and he's so proud of his school, he likes to have sex with his Yale shirt on." And he's like, "This is weird because I just had somebody in here who went to Harvard, whose fiance went to Harvard with the same issue." So a couple patients later, woman comes in with an M on her chest. And he says, "Ah, Michigan. You went to Michigan." She says, "No, my girlfriend went to Wisconsin."
Okay. All right.
Yes. Yes.
All right.
He had nothing. Yes. Yes.
All right.
All right, let's see if I can go for the applause on this one. Number two. Sex therapist is sitting in his office, and this couple comes in, and they said, "Doc, we're having an issue. We want to know if you can help us." And he says, "Okay. First thing I need to do, I need you to pull your skirt up, and I need him to drop his trousers." And they do it, and they sit back down after they're done. They said, "Well, nothing has helped." He says, "Well, I can help you." He says, "What I want you to do is on your way home, get a box of donuts and a bag of grapes." And they said, "What are we gonna do?" "Well, when you go home, you're gonna sit on opposite sides of the room, and your husband's gonna throw grapes into your vagina, and you're gonna throw donuts onto his member. And before you know it, you'll be so excited, you'll be eating donuts, and you'll be good to go." So they said, "Well, thank you." And they left. A week later, another couple comes in, and they said, "Hey, couple you saw last week referred us to you for you to help us." He said, "Okay, no problem." So he asked them to do the same thing. Asked the man to stand up, drop his trousers, asked the woman to lift up her skirt. They sit back down. He says, "I can't help you." And he said, "Come on, you helped our friends. I know you can help us." He said, "Well, here's what I would advise you to do. On the way home, pick up a box of Cheerios and a bag of oranges."
All right, you got it. 2 for 2.
Hey,
2 for 2. Cheerios, Cheerios, Cheerios.
and oranges.
Yeah, I wouldn't really listen. The orange is yeah, but Cheerios, bro, like for real.
And oranges.
All right, bro. All right. I mean, look, you came right up against the clock. You and listen, you showed up in the championship rounds. I give it to you, bro. Hey, you on the streak 2 days in a row. The jokes have been on point, bro. You can hold that chain proudly, bro. Don't get too far ahead of yourself because on Sunday at 7 p.m. on the Fighter Share Report, we're going to see if you can keep this going.
I don't tell jokes on that show.
No, with the CBM, it's all a part of the entertainment part of your persona that you bring to the show. So, we don't want to err on the side of caution. We just gonna say, okay, well, hey, if he's on a two
I already got. Hey, I
two
got Sunday
two
lined up.
a win streak, let's keep it going.
I got Sundays lined up.
Okay.
I'm excited about this.
All right. Well, this is the part where he gets ahead of himself. So we'll see how this
No,
goes.
no, I'm not ahead of myself. I'm coming in behind the jab. That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Coming in behind the jab.
all right. Okay. Well, just make sure you keep that hand up. Make sure you holding the phone when you coming behind that jab.
Oh, hey, and bending at the knees, bro. Bending
Yeah.
at the knees, not the waist.
Okay. All right.
So if you avoid that jab, I just pull a rib out your body.
Okay. All right.
But I understand you're in BJJ now, so I got to talk in that language.
No, you don't have to. You don't have to. That's just where I'm at right now. That's all.
'Cause if I hit you with a
Listen.
full left, you're in trouble.
I want to let you know that I'm getting all my work in. By the way, it's just that this BJJ is something totally different. Between that and wrestling, it's like Mandarin, especially wrestling. Like because what you think you know ain't really what you know, and that don't even really work. So
Two
it's
totally
all a
different.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
all a learning experience for me. I'm just enjoying it, man.
You know, when you look at wrestling, catch as catch can wrestlers versus BJJ artists over the past century, the record is so lopsided outside of Brazil. When they come out and they leave Brazil to do competitions, wrestling versus BJJ, the wrestlers are on top like 80% of the time.
Bro, catch wrestling is a hybrid. Catch wrestling, the very good catch wrestlers are also doing forms of BJJ.
But in the
Like it's dope.
beginning, they didn't. In the
Oh no. Yeah,
beginning,
it was two different disciplines. Yeah.
yeah,
But
completely. And if you go to Europe, it's still two different disciplines.
but catch wrestling is so physically demanding.
Yes.
Listen, yeah, nah.
I-
I'll give it to you like this: the baddest man in the gym that we're in is not even a belt holder in BJJ, but his catch wrestling is so good. He gives everybody in the gym, even some of the black belt jits players, give them problems because it's explosive, but it's also technique at the same time. It's pretty dope to do, man. It's very tiring. It's very hard to learn, but once you get it, man, it's hey,
Wrestling, when you look at some of those moves, even though a lot of them are very basic, they would work in MMA, like three-quarter Nelsons,
absolutely,
quarter
bro.
Nelsons.
A lot of these moves are the same. They just have different names.
Yeah, padlocks. These things work, and
Yeah,
it's like I'm like, why don't you do them? Just like when I saw that young lady take that shot Saturday, it was like,
because listen, because what happens is guys that are very confident in their BJJ usually aren't that confident in their wrestling. So they don't even want to take that chance with a guy that's that type of wrestler, which is why you see most wrestlers, man, they have kind of like an advantage because people are just kind of apprehensive. And if you've only learned BJJ, then a good wrestler beats a good BJJ guy every time.
I
Every
used to,
time.
I used to think it was funny. Now, mind you, during the time I was wrestling, Brandon was the best in the world, best in the world, bar none, except at the heavyweight division. But we used to every once in a while you get a chance to wrestle against Coach Kozar.
Russ Kozart. Yep.
Oh man, and it was like going to wrestle Dan Gable.
And that's where and the guy that was saying that was the baddest guy in our gym, that's where he learned his wrestling from. So he created his own hybrid system using BJJ with the catch wrestling he was taught by Russ Kozart over the last 4 years. Bro, bro.
I used to hear people say BJJ is not good in the street. It's good in the gym, it's good on the mat,
Man,
but it's not good in the street.
that's not true. It's not as it I think that catch wrestling probably serves you better.
That's what I was saying. But see, when I was growing up, they would tell you wrestling is not good in the street.
Bruce Lee told you about Western wrestling. Bruce Lee came out and said that the two disciplines he had the most trouble learning was Western wrestling, and boxing.
Boxing, right?
So,
And he learned Western boxing from watching Muhammad Ali.
yep, yep, absolutely.
But I used to tell people in a heartbeat, the more I learn in wrestling, the more it helps me in every other discipline in street fighting.
Yep,
And they would look at me like I was crazy until they locked up. And it was like,
bro.
you could be
Listen,
bigger than me, you can be smaller than me, but you're going for a ride. That was
bro, and that's so true. Right now, one of my biggest things I'm learning is stuff in the takedown because with me being a taller ish guy, it's easy to slip and get up onto that jab. So I gotta keep myself in position to defend at all times.
oh, it's easy.
That
I
and
know.
those guys that can time those shots because you gotta disguise a shot. You can't slip
Yeah.
a jab and it looked like you're trying to shoot because now I know what you're gonna do. I'm just gonna keep I'm gonna work my way out of that. Like I'm gonna keep that distance. But if you can make your slip look like your shot, man, you killing the game, bro. You're killing the game.
If you think it's hard to disguise a shot in MMA, think about how hard it is when you're already on the mat wrestling
Yeah,
to disguise a shot.
yeah.
But it's easy because you keep your hands. I'm assuming you keep a traditional boxing stance.
Right.
So all you do is drop your arms, lock your shoulders, and drop your arms,
Right.
and
Yeah,
sprawl.
no, I mean that's true, bro. But man,
But when
got
it's coming
guys-
at you,
and these guys know how to shoot. I mean, listen, and when they make contact with you, bro, it's over with. Like when they get that gable grip and they hit them and they get their shoulder on them hips and they start driving through you, bro. It ain't listen. You going for a ride. Your best bet is hope you can sprawl and get low and try to put pressure on them to where they can't lift you up. But it's curtains, bro. It's curtains.
listen, I heard a coach tell somebody one time at a tournament, and my coach said, I'm not. My coach told me he wasn't vulgar enough to give us this description, but it was a great description. He said, "When somebody puts their shoulder in your hip and they try to take you down, put your winky through the back of his neck, because when you pop your hips,
Yep. Yep.
his head's got to go down,
His
which
head's
gives
got to
you
go down. Yeah.
goes down. It's going to loosen just for a second.
Yeah.
You can slide them hips back, and he's going for a ride to the ground if you pull him straight down."
Either that or you draw him in. You try to catch him with a knee coming in.
Yeah. Well, see, we weren't able to do that on the mat legally,
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
but you can do that. That's the man. I thought about getting back into catch as catch can wrestling.
Man, why not, bro? It's a hell of a listen. Man, okay, I ain't gonna. You already know what kind of workout it is.
That's what stopped me.
Yeah, and being removed from it, you got to definitely ease your way back into it slowly.
I don't have any more of them. I have some of the muscle memory up top
Hmm.
because I still do shadow sparring,
Hmm.
but you got to have muscle memory from the hips down
Yeah,
in wrestling.
yeah.
And then they throw moves on you, you know, just to hear you say "ow,"
Oh
even though
yeah.
you're tapping.
Oh yeah.
It's a whole different. It's like I'm telling you, it's like
And
going
and when
from
one thing about wrestlers, they don't go on their back. So when you in there trying to roll with them with BJJ, you can forget about it. Like they're not. Yeah, they don't play that.
because you're
Yeah.
taught to stay off your back.
Yeah. Yeah. I
If
know.
you get
I
on your
know.
back, you do a side bridge
Yep.
to keep your shoulders from hit. It's not a comfortable position. Like for me, if I get into BJJ, the red belly had been rolling with BJJ for a couple of months before he really got sick. And he was saying it was so difficult for him in the beginning because you start off on your back.
Yep.
He was like,
Yep.
this is
Full
not a
guard.
natural position.
Yep.
Now you talk about somebody who could wrestle. He could wrestle.
I bet he looked like it. He's sturdy.
You could pin him. You could get him down, but you could not pin that joker.
Yeah.
They had a dude that almost separate, really almost injured his spine trying to pin him. I, I got to tell this story before we go. I got to. The red belly was a junior. I was a senior, and we were wrestling at the Zephyr Hills Invitational Tournament against Jefferson High School. Now, if he won, he wrestled at 189. I wrestled heavyweight. If he won, there was no way they were going to beat us, and we were going to win the team title. He wrestled they called him the Haitian Sensation. I cannot remember this kid's name. He looked like he should have been wrestling heavyweight. I don't know how he made 189 and did not make 220. Huge, just all muscle. And he was just picking guys up, bam, throwing them around the whole tournament. It was a team tournament. He got a hold of the red belly, slammed him. This was Ali Foreman. Slammed him down, had to be 3 dozen times. Red belly kept popping up, kept popping up, kept popping up. Didn't stay down. And people in the stands now are watching this, even though their teams are wrestling other. People are watching like, what's going on here? The red belly kept standing up every time he was, and the guy got so tired that one time our coach yelled out, "Do a reversal." All the red belly did was turn. That boy was so tired, he just laid on his back, and the
Oh
red
yeah.
belly got a pin.
That's the thing. That's definitely a thing. Fatigue is not your friend in combat sports, but especially not in wrestling or jujitsu. You do not want that. All right, man. We up against it, man. What you got on your shout outs, brother?
Listen. He chimed in. Just stand up. Now everybody's gonna know you're the red belly. Um, Listen, shout out to the red belly for chiming in, the pops for not asking about his hat. Um,
He did. I just get a chance to respond because we were deep in the conversation. But go ahead.
Shout out to my partner for coming in and catching the big blunder that was made by moi. Shout out to my wife and my daughter, and my mom. And listen, I don't give, because we're not a political show, we're not a religious show, but I'm a man of faith, and I got to give my God a shout out, because he brought me through a pretty dark place recently. I mean, like real recently, and gave me clear vision on some things coming forward with this show and some other things we're working on. And I want to give him a shout out for, for staying real in my life. No matter what anybody else says or how they feel, that's everybody's own belief. But he's brought me and a lot of people that I know through some real rough times recently. And I want to give him a shout out.
Oh, I'm sorry. Who was that? I missed the name.
God.
Oh, that guy. Gotcha. All right. Well, I think we all owe him something, but okay, cool. Well, with that being said, I guess I don't have to give a shout to God because he did it, even though God knew I was going to say that before I said it. I guess that's how it works. Shouts out to everybody in Fighter Show Nation, man. Check in with your people. Tap in. Check in on your people, man. It's rough out here. Mental health is a real thing. All my entrepreneurs stand up. Don't quit. Success is right around the corner. Shout out to the LA Lakers. They finally won the game in the series. I guess everybody's happy now. Nobody gives a damn. This season don't count anyway. Who cares? We appreciate my partner for carrying the show.
Somewhat.
Anyway, man, listen, Fighter Show Nation, we are out here. We will see y'all Sunday on the Fighter Show Report, 7 p.m. We'll be back next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. This show, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We out here. Peace.